Welcome to our flip video on multiplication strategies. Please have your recording sheet so that you can write down your vocabulary. First, estimation. Estimation is a close guess to the actual value of a number. Multiplication. This is repeated addition. So, please take the time to write this down in your recording sheet, and if you have any questions, you can always ask myself or your teacher. Let's talk about multiplying by estimating. So if I'm going to estimate to the hundreds place, I'm going to say 3 times, and this is going to become 100. Well, I know that 3 times 1 equals 3. And then I can take these two zeros and put them on the end, because whenever you look at this and you look at a place value chart, I have the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. I had the 3 in the ones place. If I moved the 3 over to the hundreds place, I would have to put 2 zeros behind it because there's no tens and no ones. So that's why we put 2 zeros behind it. Let's look at 7 times 746. So I'm going to do 7 times 700. I know what 7 times 7 is, which 7 times 7 is 49. And then I'm going to place 2 zeros behind it. So that gives me 4,900. 4 times 179. So I'm going to do 4 times 200. And I know 4 times 2 is 8. And then I'm going to place 2 zeros behind the end. So my answer is 800. If I'm going to do 5 times 129, I'm going to round that to 100. And 5 times 100 is 500. If I'm going to do 5 times 289, that's going to be 5 times 300. 5 times 300 is 15. 5 times 3, is 15, and then I place 2 zeros at the end, and that's 1,500. 4 times 301 is going to be 4 times 300. 4 times 3 is 12, and put 2 zeros on the end, and that's 1,200. Let's talk about multiplication by the distributive property. So I'm going to take 13 and I'm going to break that up into 10 and 3. And then I'm going to draw a strip diagram. And in my strip diagram, I'm going to put 6 right here. 10 is bigger than 3, so I'm going to put 10 up here, and then I'm going to put 3 right here. And I'm going to multiply this by what's on the top. So 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 3 is going to be 18. And then if I add 60 plus 18, that gives me 78. Now, if I'm going to check it, I can use the traditional way. So I'm going to do 13 times 6. I do 6 times 3, which is 18, and then I carry the 1. 6 times 1 plus 1 is 7. So 78 is my answer, and they both check. I'm going to do another strip diagram right here for 3 times 27. I'm going to put the 3 here, and then I'm going to break 27 down into 20 and 7. 20 is bigger than 7, so I'm going to put 20 up here and 7 right here. 3 times 20, well I know 3 times 2 is 6, and then I can place that 0 behind. 7 times 3 is 21, so I can do 21 plus 60. And that's 1, and that's 6, 7, 8, 81. Now I can do 27 times 3. I'm going to do ones place times the ones place. So 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to carry this 2 up here, and then I'm going to do 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 2, which is 8, and my answers check. I add the 2 at the top because really what I'm doing is putting the 1 here and carrying the 2 up here. So I don't do 3 times 2 times 2, I do 3 times 2 plus 2. Let's look right here at 8 times 79. I'm going to break 8 times 79 into 70 and 9. And then I'm going to draw my strip diagram. So I am going to do 8 right here, 70 is bigger, so 70 goes right here, and 9 goes right here. So 8 times 70 is going to be, 8 times 7 is 56, and then I put a 0 on the end. 8 times 9 is 72. So I'm going to do 560 plus 72, and that's 13, 632. Now I'm going to do 79 times 8. 8 times 9 is 72, carry the 7. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 7 is going to be 63. So I hope this helped you with using a strip diagram and using a distributive property to multiply. What I want you to do is make sure that you watch this a couple of times so that you can understand this and you can do it on your homework. Let's look over here. This is just the 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication. So I know 7 times 4 is 28. I carry this 2 up here, and I do 6 times 4, which is 24, and then I add the 2, which is 26, and that's how I get my answer. 9 times 6, these are all basic facts, which is why we have you practicing your multiplication in class. So 9 times 6 is 54. I'm going to write the 4 and carry the 5. Then I'm going to do 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 is 29. 9 times 3 is going to be 27. I carry the 2. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 2 is 38. So what you're doing is 1 place times the 1's place, 1 place times the 10's place, and then you're going to add whatever you had here. Now let's say I had something like this. If I do 8 times 1, that's 8. There's nothing to carry, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I can just write the 48. So if you don't have anything to carry, then you don't add it at the top, because sometimes you have a problem like that. Okay, let's use strip diagrams to solve this problem. A live theater has 2 stages. Stage 1 has 6 rows of seats with 13 seats in each row. Stage 2 has 3 times as many seats as stage 1. How many seats are there in both rooms? Well, first of all, I'm going to rewrite my question as a statement, and I'm going to say there were blank seats on both stages. So make sure that you write your question as a statement. Now I'm going to guess, how many steps do I think that this problem has? I'm going to say it has 1, 2, 3 steps. So I'm going to write 1, 2, 3 for my 3 steps to solve this problem. First, it says stage 1 has 6 rows of seats with 13 seats in each. So I'm going to draw a strip diagram, and I'm going to make sure this has 6 rows. And in each row, there's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do not know what this equals. So, since I don't know what this equals, I have to know that I'm going to do equal groups put together. E, G, P, T. Equal groups put together. So I'm going to do multiplication. That's what multiplication is. 13 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 1 plus 1 is 7. So the first step is going to be 78. That's the answer for that. Stage 2 has 3 times as many seats as stage 1. So I know that there's going to be 3 times as many for stage 2. So this is going to be another E, G, P, T. Equal groups put together. I'm going to make 3 groups, and I'm going to put 78 together 3 times of equal groups. So I'm going to do 78 times 3. So 78 times 3. So 8 times 3 is 24. And I'm going to carry the 2. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 2, 21, 22, 23. And am I done? No, because it says how many seats were there in both rooms or on both stages. So what I'm going to say is 234, I need to add it to 78. So that's some and some more, because I have some in one stage and some more on the next. So I'm going to do 234 plus 78. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. 2 plus 1 is 3. So there were 312, and there were 3 steps in this problem. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always ask one of your teachers. I hope this helps, and watch this as many times as you need to.